I want to say the Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes match was 8.5 out of 10. I really like that match actually. Um, I mean, you have a lot of signature moves in the match, a lot of go back and forth, and I wanted to see Brock Lesnar get the big victory over Cody, and it sets up for the third match. So, uh, we'll see what happens with that. Plus, whoever wins this match will probably in line to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And what's interesting is that Seth and Brock Lesnar does have a history. Seth and Cody has a history, and now you're building something between Cody and Brock. So who knows? You could be looking at a triple threat match down the road. um, but yeah, that was a fun match. I enjoyed it more than some of Brock's old matches of recent history. I like that there's a little more substance to it this time. And I guess Cody and Brock kind of work something out where they can actually go more than 10 minutes and not have a quick 5 minute match, which is kind of common for the Brock Lesnar era. So, uh, and then let's see, we talked about Seth and AJ Styles. That's one. Trish and Becky Lynch. Bianca and Asuka. Rhea Ripley and Natalia. Gunther and Ali. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. And we come to our main event, the Tag Team Championship, the undisputed Tag Team Championships. Roman Reigns, your undisputed WWE um, Universal Champion, tagging with his cousin Solo Sikoa. And the reason why they're challenging for the tag team title is because they don't want the Usos to do it because the Usos had lost their championships to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and they lost the rematch, and they've been losing some key matches. So they don't trust them to do it to bring them back the titles to the bloodline. So Solo and Roman are gonna do it. And since Night of Champions was in Saudi Arabia, I didn't think I would ever see it, but Sami Zayn did step foot in Saudi Arabia, and he was such a big, big crowd ovation, big pop for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So that was cool to see. And even for the intros, Sami Zayn introduced himself and Kevin Owens for the Tag Team Championship match in Arabic. So that was fun to see. The match itself, it was actually alright. It wasn't the best I've seen, but these four are like really over. They got a lot of crowd reaction. They were emotionally invested for everything, and there was a lot of back and forth. Everybody got to work with each other, and you got your occasional interference by the Usos. They managed to super kick Solo by accident after super kicking Sami Zayn, and Roman Reigns got pissed off at not Solo, at the Usos for messing up, for kicking Solo in the face, and then Roman Reigns decides to disrespect both the Usos by putting his hand on the face of both Uso brothers, Jimmy and Jay. And Jimmy got fed up with all that and super kicked Roman Reigns because you don't disrespect, him like that. You don't disrespect family like that. So, and because Jimmy Uso super kicked Roman Reigns not once but twice, Roman Reigns fell out of the ring, and all of a sudden, Solo was a sitting duck. He got the KO stunner, and then it was led by the Sami Zayn Haluva kick, and Sami Zayn pinned Solo Sokoa to retain their undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, with Kevin Owens. So I would say that match was like an 8.3 out of 10. Um, but yeah, it was fun to watch. But it probably wasn't as good as the Seth Rollins AJ match, and it was probably not as good as the Brock Lesnar Cody match. Um, so yeah, that's my review of Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. And I want to end on this. I went to an AEW event tape in for Dynamite and Rampage, and it had two dark matches. It was at the San Diego State campus at the Viejas Arena. Great venue for holding events. And uh, I came in, I think it was like a dark match, and I believe Sky Blue was wrestling and she won. Um, she won her match. And then the first match of Dynamite, um, it was the Blackpool Combat Club featuring Claudio, who you guys might know as Cesaro from WWE. You also had Wheeler Yuta, and then you got John Moxley, who you guys remember as Dean Ambrose from WWE. They were facing in a trios match against the Lucha Brothers, Penta, and Phoenix, along with Bandito. Um, it was a good match. I really enjoyed it, and um, there was a part where Bandito had you. I guess it was Yuta Wheeler up in a suplex, and he held him in a delayed suplex, and the crowd and Bandito counted from 1 to 60. Apparently, counting to 60 is the world record for holding someone up in a suplex. So, um, yeah, a lot of back and forth action. Um, I like the whole Cero Miedo chant coming from Penta to incite the crowd to say it all together. Um, but uh, the Blackpool Combat Club prevailed. Um, they got the big victory in a trios match, and I enjoyed it. Um, I would say that match was probably an 8.1 out of 10. So that was pretty cool. Um, and then the next thing I remembered was there was a match between Big Bill, who you guys might remember as Cass, who is one part of the Enzo Amore and Cass. Um, when they were doing the whole thing where uh, you can't teach that, and your SAWFT soft chant, very catchy. But Cass now goes by the name Big Bill, and he was fighting with Trent Beretta and um, who was the other guy? Well, oh yeah, Swerve Strickland. So Swerve Strickland got the pin on um, Trent Beretta. Um, so Big Bill was not really part of the decision, the result, the pinfall. But that was a fun match. I would say it was like maybe a 7.9 out of 10. Um, and then There was a match between Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose. Um, um, Chris Statlander, I've seen him before. So as I've seen Nyla Rose, but apparently Chris Statlander had defeated the undefeated Jay Cargill. She was your TBS champion, and now Chris Statlander is now your new TBS champion. And her first title defense was basically against Nyla Rose, and it was a good match. And Chris Statlander retained her title by pinning Nyla Rose. I would say the match was probably um I would say it was 8 out of 10. Um, let's see what else. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh, there was a tag team match. You got, I think it was the Gates of Agony. That's the name of the tag team. They were facing off with Darby Allin and your international AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy. So that was fun to watch, and for the most part, it looks like the Gates of Agony looked like they were dominating the match. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy looked like they were overwhelmed, and you get to see the Orange Cassidy Superman punch. You also get to see the coffin drop from Darby Allin. So Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy did defeat the Gates of Agony. Um, I would say the match itself was probably probably would say a 7.7 out of 10. Um, it can be a little comical, which kind of takes away from the match itself. But sometimes a little comedy doesn't hurt too much, but too much of it can take away the seriousness of the match. So, but I liked it, but not the best. Um, so a good victory for Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Interesting how they were paired together. And of course, at the end of the match, the I guess you could say the embassy wanted to beat up on Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, but Sting with the baseball bat helped even the odds, and it was nice seeing Sting again. Um, and then let's see. I guess you can just go straight to the main event. Um, Dr. Britt Baker was teaming up with her husband, Adam Cole. They were facing Chris Jericho and Saraya, who you guys remember is Paige from WWE. Great matchup. A lot of interaction. Um, some great spots. You see a lot of code breakers. I didn't see a Panama sunrise. I did see the lion salt. So some signature vintage Chris Jericho moves. The Walls of Jericho, we saw that. But what's cool is that Britt Baker actually helped Adam Cole get out of the Walls of Jericho because she put her dentist glove on and she stuck her fingers down the throat of Chris Jericho and then got him into um, the Britt Baker signature submission move, uh, where she's pulling down on the jaw while she has your arm pinned back. So that looks like a painful submission hold, but very effective. But good thing Saraya broke up that submission hold on Chris Jericho. And then, but yeah, a lot of great action. And the match ended with Adam Cole with the, I guess it's like a flying leg clothesline on the back of um, the neck of Chris Jericho. That is Adam Cole's signature move. Um, uh, I know there's a name to it, but I just can't think of the finisher move. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's the big victory for Adam Cole and Britt Baker. That ended Dynamite. Let's see. That match itself, I thought it was an 8.3 out of 10. So you do kind of featured four of the biggest stars in AEW, women and men. So that was pretty cool. And then we had the Rampage taping. So Dynamite is taped on a Wednesday and it's shown on TV on TBS on Wednesday nights. But Rampage, it was also taped on Wednesday, but it's going to air on Friday on TNT. I think it's a 1 hour show. And I got to see, I guess it's like the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Woman Championship, which is held by Willow. She defended against Emi Sakura. Um, a lot of hard hitting action, but um, Willow got I think it's like a power bomb to defeat Emi Sakura, who came out in like a queen's outfit with the crown and robe. Um, that was a decent match. I would say it's probably like a 7.8 out of 10. Um, there was a mega triple A match held by Vikino, who was facing with Dar Darlistico and Norm Normander, Normonger. um, it did have some comedic sequence between the three guys. It's a triple threat match, but honestly, I was looking forward to seeing Vikino. He had two of his signature moves, where one is where he's jumping off the rope, and he's supposed to do like a reverse Hurricanrana. It looks very painful and cringy, but I think he was able to make it safe, but yet exciting and yet dangerous at the same time. And then there was a move that Vikino does where he places somebody on a table outside the ring, and he jumps over the top rope, or he jumps and launches himself from the ropes. Because I think he climbs up like onto the the ropes, and he launches himself and does like a big spin, like a 450 630, kind of like a spin move where he lands on the person who's on the table. Looks so cool because he jumps over the rope after launching himself off of a rope to do that spin move, and it looks so impressive. And Vikino did get the pinfall victory. So that was probably a fun match. I would say it's about a 8.5 out of 10. Vikino retains his Mega AAA Championship. And then you got the New Japan Pro Wrestling's TV Championship title defended by Zack Sabre, and he was going to face off with um, uh, I guess it was Andretti. And then that was a good match. Zack Sabre got the victory. I would probably say it was like a 8 out of 10. Um, and then there was a pure, uh, it was like a Ring of Honor um, pure wrestling championship between, I guess, Lee Moriarty and Katsuyori Shibata, and it has some special rules, but you can still win by pinfall or submission. And it was a decent match, I would say. Um, Katsuyori Shibata got the victory, and the match itself was uh, 8 out of 10. Um, so yeah, that was fun to watch. Um, I had a feeling that when I went to this event, um, there were some empty seats, and there's a hard camera, and nobody was really sitting behind the hard camera. So there was two sections that holds like maybe 300 people or 500 people per section. It was behind the cameraman who was holding the car camera, which is it's the camera shot you see on TV. So if the camera from the hard angle, from the hard camera is facing the ring, and that's where the cameraman was positioned at, there's no one behind him. Like almost no more than like 10 people. And that would have held like 600, 800, 900 people in those seats, but there was only like 20 people behind the cameraman in that section and the next section over that. So that didn't look too good. And if you look at my camera angle when I take my video, it actually looks empty over there. But the rest of the arena was mostly filled. Um, I have to say, it's a different vibe from a WWE event. When I went to WrestleMania, it's much better to go in person than an AEW event. So, but yeah, AEW is still doing arenas while WWE is kind of doing stadiums, but there's a slight difference. So, but I overall I enjoyed myself, but I wasn't like too excited. So, well, guys, that's my review of everything, and have a good weekend, guys. This is Tiggy Maximus signing off. Booyaka!